become, the bigger, as Tricia said, the bigger your family gets. All right, and that's consciousness expansion. The more your consciousness expands, it includes more and more and more of creation, including all of the creation here in this realm.
In
All right.
3D.
Yeah.
And you had a question or
I
comment?
just want to touch upon what he mentioned about karma. I wanted to know your thoughts because it seemed like
Yes.
they might be a little different. So I just wanted to hear
Yeah.
what your thoughts were on that.
On what?
Karma.
On karma, and I know because also you didn't mention when those 100 boys, those bad things happen. Like shit does happen, but where does karma come into play? Also,
So
because
karma
karma comes
literally
into play
means
like
cause and
instead of
effect.
right.
Yeah, so that's the definition, is cause and effect. And what Rusty was saying is that there is a cause and effect. If I go and steal from you, and you call the cops and I end up in jail, that's a cause and effect. It happens right away. I think what we were talking about with religions sometimes, or even metaphysics, is it's used as to control you. It's used to say, don't do that. You might have bad karma. It's used as a controller, and what we're saying is,
You don't need that for a controller.
forget about karma. Go inside.
So you're saying there's no karma?
And be internal. There is cause and effect.
So cause and effect is different because cause and effect doesn't have to be instantaneously, right?
Right.
It could be something you've done 30 years ago. Or
Right.
what did that child do that got obviously, molested or raped?
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
So you're saying that there's nothing they've done in some other incarnation? Because that's what I
I know,
understand.
that's the
it to
norm.
be.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, I am
Yeah.
actually saying
Yes.
that.
We're saying
both
that,
saying
yes.
that.
Okay.
So again, you're right. In traditional metaphysics, as is taken from often Buddhism and sometimes Hinduism, the belief is that you did something awful in a past life, and so therefore you come here and you have awful things done to you. That's one way to look at it. Or awful things happen to you in this life, therefore you must have done something really bad in a past life.
Correct.
Right?
Or something really good happened, so I
Right.
must have done something really good.
Correct.
Right. And that is that's what you're talking about,
Correct.
right? That's the
Correct.
karma related to past and future lives.
Right. So remember earlier when Tricia talked about levels of a game. Okay, and please hear, that's just a metaphor.
Right.
It's just the
No,
best.
but if you look at Dalai Lama, right, he assumes power because thing is, this whole karma, he's a classic example of, because he was born a Lama.
Right.
So now, I'm come from India. We have this whole circus based on who is born, who will be priest, who will clean the shit. All these things are
Right,
still
right,
going
right.
on.
All the caste system is based
Caste
on
systems
karma,
and
yeah.
stuff like that, and it's
Mhm,
there in
past
every part of
lives.
the world.
Right.
So, Dalai Lama's classic example is, now, of course, he's a pretty well-known figure. I should not be challenging him, but to me, that looks, again, to me, how he assumes that power. So that, so again, I can't talk. I don't want to talk about it.
So I don't
but
want
to
to
me,
get too far off of what she's asking either. I know you're talking
no,
about
it's
the
a
same
karma
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
Only
karma.
because karma is what gives him that.
Yes.
So that the same story.
Yeah.
Actually, karma didn't give him that, though. Who gave it to him was the religion.
Yeah, that's what I feel too.
Right.
The spiritual.
But why did he
yeah.
assume it?
Right.
Yes.
The body is human. Right. So if you ask him, we've actually had the opportunity to be in an audience with the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, I've been to his
And
meeting.
asking him, when he was asked about some of this, basically his answer is not so much on karma, but that, how do I put this?
That if you have to repay what you did, no?
No. He does not have, it was not his karma to be a Dalai Lama, right? He was taught that he was the Dalai Lama, and therefore, it's just like any child. You could have been, someone walked up to you and go, congratulations, here's a bowl, here's this, do you
No, I
recognize
get
them?
that. I could clean shit.
Yeah.
Or I could be a priest, and
Right.
I do that both well,
Yeah.
So it took me a while to understand. It took me, I had to work my mind because I see beauty in labor, but this has been a work for me, and it took a while, real work, So that's the reason especially I admire the American labor. One of the reasons is there is dignity of labor in this country. Of course, we are losing that, but at least this country has worked on it.
Yes.
And I mean, this is again a
But you can
rudimentary
move
way of
beyond what you were born into here, more so than you
more,
can
more,
in other
more in this country, you know, in the Europe,
Right.
we have the feudal
Yes.
structures, you know, which are
Right.
still dominating people. Here, that is broken up. So,
And so, cause and effect does still happen on this planet. I think what happens though, too often, is that when we look at someone like those young boys and we say, well, they must have been bad in their past life, therefore they had this happen to them.
That's blaming the
We
victim.
now blame them for this awful thing. I mean, we're not saying it's not a terrible thing that took place. We're now blaming them for this awful thing. And I know as a psychotherapist, I have too often people who have been taught that, and they come into my sessions and they're like, I must have been awful because I had this really crappy life, or I must have hurt someone because somebody hurt me. And then it becomes self-deprecating. It becomes, I must be bad. You are not bad. Crap happens. Because it happened to you, it just happened. Our little mind, our little human mind, and I don't mean that in a derogatory manner, I just mean our little localized self wants to know why. But why? Why?
Why me?
So,
Yeah.
an example is in the Old Testament, there is a story of the rainbow. And I can just hear a little kid talk to his dad and say, Dad, what is that rainbow in the sky? And Dad says, son, let me tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story of a time that God got mad at everybody and the flood happened and God said, don't do that again, and he only saved one family and 2 of every animal, but God gave us a rainbow to tell us he'd never do that again. It's a story, right?
Going back to religion's man-made.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we know rainbows
karma
are
is also-
actually scientific, and we can say rainbows happen because of the molecules of water in the sky, and we have a reason for it. We know that it doesn't have to be a story. I think what happens is our minds want a story. We want to know why. If I was raped, why? If I was hurt, why? If I was cheated, why? And we want to blame somebody, even if we blame ourselves. And we want to blame myself. I must have cheated somebody else in a past life, so I was cheated in this life. A young lady I know is a paraplegic in a wheelchair, had a really, really bad car accident. And someone informed her that that was her contract and her karma, and it was because literally she was a bad person in a past life. So by being in a car accident, and she had hurt somebody else, and by being in a car accident and now being a paraplegic in a wheelchair, she's righted her karma, but it's her fault because she was a bad person in a past life.
So how can you get in the driver's seat of your karma and start consciously improving your life and the lives of those around with your intention?
So my point is, what if they're in that sense? So I'm going to use the word karma because you mentioned cause and effect is a little bit different than what we've been taught karma is. What if karma as an entity that we've been taught and that we needed as an external being to keep us in line at some level of our maturity, we grow and we realize isn't real?
that's possible.
So it's
There-
all just random shit?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I can't fathom that.
And as I said, our little minds want an answer. We want a why.
Or
We
maybe
want to
our
know
life is
why.
great.
Nothing is random.
We want
I
to
feel
know.
nothing is random.
Right. We want to,
Anything.
We want to
From
know
small
why.
to big, to me being here, to anything.
Mhm.
So the question is,
I would argue
being
that
loved
Right.
intensely or being raped, they both are very small and petty. I mean, you know, in one way we are saying, you know, random is one thing, which is, you know, again, but here
So-
there we have 2 extremes. You know, one is
Yeah.
when you are loved,
Mhm.
you know, you feel there's a natural light, of course, now there are
Right.
chemicals.
So I would be very clear. We are both psychotherapists. We understand emotion. We do not think you should hide your emotion. You should pretend they're not there. You should live in some
And no-
glory or smile all the time or everything's perfect. In duality, it is not. Shit happens. Crap happens. Right? In duality, it is not perfect. And if I have a car accident, if I walk out the door and I have a car accident, I need to say, was I not present? Did I not pay attention? If someone hits me and I am present and I'm aware and they hit me, I just need to go, shit happens. If I go, why did I bring this on? What did I do to cause this? Maybe my mindset wasn't right. You get caught in a loop, and the loop becomes self-deprecating.
And disempowering.
And it takes the power away from who you are.
If you allow it.
To say, I had a car accident, I was present, I wasn't eating or texting or driving, somebody just slammed into the side of me randomly, and then I deal with the car accident, I call my insurance, I go to the chiropractor, if I need somebody goes to the hospital, whatever, we deal with the consequences of this mess, and then we move on. Where I think people get stuck is that they want a reason why that car accident happened. And again, at some point, we all get a reason and we say it's karma, or I didn't, I brought it on, or my thoughts created it, or whatever, and you can believe that. What we're presenting to you is something to challenge what you currently believe, and to help you think outside of the box you've created for yourself. And that box is very comfortable. We like what we believe. I like my beliefs. Our quest here in this class is to challenge your beliefs, to make you go home and go, oh, they're full of crap.
Right.
Or, I wonder if something they said might be real. Well, maybe I need to look at that.
And that's what I will say to you. Don't believe a word we say. Take it and try it. See if it works for you. If it works, keep it, use it. If it doesn't, throw it on the trash heap. It's not for you at that point. Right?
But it may come back around.
Right.
And 10 years from now, you might go, oh man, that was interesting. Maybe I should have listened more. Or, man, those guys are still full of it.
But the therapy, I've been to therapies, so I don't know, you were a therapist too, so it's now what you're studying is also supported by, I see that awareness, all this is part of the therapy sessions too, right? It's part of the curriculum and
Yes.
what's being practiced, like I see that.
Right.
Some of my therapy, they themselves meditate and
Yeah. It helps you move beyond the construct of your own mind. We have all constructed reality. It's our box that we see. And I teach in my therapy, I use a lot of light and color. And one of the things that we do is there's a chart you look at that's just rainbow colors, and it's a piece of paper, and when you look at it, they move and change. They don't move and change. I don't see what you see when you look at that color. But the people looking at it as they're talking see movement and changes in the colors. That's because every one of us has filters. And this is how we see the world. And we see the world through our own filters, and everybody does. So if you've ever put a funny thing up on Facebook or texted somebody something that you thought was cute and they got mad, or they took offense, or they got really upset about what you said. How dare you say that? And you're like, it was a joke. It's because they have filters. And so what we hope to do, even if it's just slightly, is to help you see your own filters and your own belief systems and expand. How can I move beyond what I believe right now? At one point in my life, I did grow up Christian. I did not believe in reincarnation. Then I opened up, awakened, learned metaphysics, studied with Hindu gurus, Buddhist nuns and monks, went to all these different shamans, all this stuff. They're talking about past lives. I'm like, yeah, I got it. Bam, reincarnation, it's real. And as I continue on my journey, I get, maybe it's not the way we've been taught. Maybe there's something totally different that you haven't even thought of yet. Maybe there's something outside of the box. And the box changes. You go from this box, as you were saying, go from this box where nothing matters. You go to this box where everything I do now matters, and allow the next box to show up. Allow the next expansion of who you are to show up for you. A belief is just a crystallized thought. Break that thought, and what's next? How do you move to what's next? And the truth is, if what you currently believe is great for you, hold on to
Hold on to it.
Don't let go of it. If it's working,
but
great.
how do you know it's great?
Is it working for you, or is your life doing what you want it to?
Is your life working?
I mean, is it joyful? You're happy.
Yes,
that
if you're
is-
joyful and you're happy
Yes.
and you figured it out, you got all the answers, you know what this
Yeah, the
is,
answer thing is the tricky part. You know.
then you're good. It's when you start asking questions that your box, your beliefs, can't answer.
Yeah, many times. I mean,
And when you go beyond your box and you go, wait, I thought I had the answers to that, and now my answers aren't working, you have to figure out, well then, if that doesn't work, what's next? And so, again, hold your beliefs, keep your beliefs. If they work for you, wonderful. If you get to a place where they don't work anymore, then go, well, what else might be there? Maybe I see it differently. There's a story about the elephant and the blind man.
Yes. You want me to tell the story?
I'll be
And
quiet,
the elephant
yeah.
and the 3 blind men, is that it?
Yes.
All right.
You'll know it better than me.
Have any of you heard this story before?
Yes.
All right. All right. Elephant. We all have an idea of what an elephant looks like. 3 blind men walk up to this elephant. One of them grabs the trunk, one of them grabs the leg, one of them grabs the tail. And then they're telling each other what they have. And he says, oh, well, this animal is like a fire hose. No, this animal is like a rope. No, it's like a tree. None of them see the whole picture. To each of them, the elephant is the fire hose. It is the rope. It is the tree. But that's not the whole gestalt. That's not the whole picture. By the way, gestalt is a German word, and it means the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Okay. So when we're out there, what are you seeing? What are you calling the elephant? What part have you identified as the elephant in your own life? You've asked this question again, and I want you to think about your $100 worth of energy. How much of that $100 a day are you wasting on passing judgment on what happens? This is good, this is bad, this is neutral, this is that. Your money, it may only be a few cents, but it's going to those judgments. What we're inviting you to do in some of this is to move beyond judgment. Move beyond any belief that there is good, bad, right, wrong. All right? There is that which serves the whole, and there is that which serves the self in duality. Those are really your 2 choices of how things play out. And if you don't go into all of the judgments, if you simply say, this is appropriate for me, this is inappropriate for me, then I'm keeping my money. If, however, I'm going, this is inappropriate for you, this is appropriate for you, that's not my right, that's not my choice. Those are for you to discern, not for me. If I'm trying to control everyone out here, I'm probably completely out of control in here.
And the whole topic tonight is, covered lots of ground, but the whole topic tonight is about pulling back your energy.
And your power.
And how do you pull your power back to you, not to some past life or some future life,
Right.
not to karma, not to good or bad, not to a church, not to you or you. How do you take it back from your ex, from the person who may have abused you? How do you pull that energy back to yourself so that you are fully sovereign, so that you have your energy here, and then making more conscious choices as to where you put your energy and what you do with your energy each day. Right?
How can we discern in the moment whether it's a situation where we need to exercise our personal power to change what's going on, or whether we need to kind of abdicate and accept and surrender to what is happening in the moment?
Give me a better example.
So say, you've got this perpetual dysfunctional pattern in your life, and you see other people seem to be able to resolve this challenge, and you're wondering, how can I exercise intention to where I'm not experiencing this dysfunctional pattern anymore, essentially?
What is the dysfunctional pattern paying you? What is it giving you? What's the benefit to it?
It's sort of allowing me to probably not really take the necessary risks to move forward in things I want to move forward in life.
Okay, so it has a benefit. And as long as that is a benefit to you, you will continue to stay in that pattern. The minute you realize that is no longer beneficial to you, you will step out of that pattern. It's that simple.
Does belief system work that way?
What way? I want your
I think it's a benefit, so we
stick to it. Yes.
and then we are limited by it.
Yes.
Because belief just limits you, right?
Yes.
In a box.
It's all. I'm not going to say belief just limits you, all right? Because beliefs are beneficial. They give us a construct into which to live our life at the level we're
Right.
functioning at. Beliefs, however, have to be examined and they have to be changed, all right?
That's why.
If
as
you want a bigger
move up-
box.
So basically, as
What
you
in new
move
box?
up or change level, let's not call it up. As you change level, really, when you change is because your beliefs have changed.
Yes.
Yes.
Your perspective
Your
has
pers-
changed.
Thank you.
Right, and that goes back to the elephant and how you and to karma. Right, you know, I'll tie all these together eventually, right? So with the elephant, you will never know that it's an elephant if you're the blind man holding on to one part or another. It's only as you raise your perspective and you can now see not even just the side of the elephant, but you're looking down on the elephant. You see the whole of the picture. Right? Suddenly you realize, well, there is no rope, there is no tree, there is no hose, but yes, all of those still exist to the blind men who are holding them. But you don't go, what idiots, what fools. You go, they just don't understand yet. And that's it. And
They
that's
just don't see the bigger
they
picture.
don't see the bigger picture. When you're ready to let go of those intentions that may be keeping you there right now because they are of a benefit to you, you will. And until you are, you won't. But I will tell you, one thing is assured for every single one of us. We will all attain enlightenment at some point. We all will, because we've never left it. We've just put rock blocks in the way of our understanding.
So, do you all think, there's that quote, the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. Do you think that the level of consciousness globally is increasing overall?
Yes, because there's more information being shared. All right. Whether we're all going to wake up at one moment in time, I doubt. I don't think it's designed that way. A newborn can't decide that it's going to be a teenager. It takes the progress to get there, right? A newborn in spirit can't just decide to be an awakened master, right? It takes this process to get there, but it is a process that we are all on.
But how important is a human life? Is it really petty? Because it seems to me like a joke, because the kind of things you see around, it's pretty brutal. I mean, you have to be. So either it has to be a joke, it has to be petty. To see the source as compassionate. I mean, there are certain. I'm from India, so there are certain states of Brahman, or the source. They say, it has to be, it has to be compassionate, Kripalu, and there are 4, 5. It has to be compassionate, aware. So this is
Like the Eightfold Path of Buddhism as well.
Yeah, they also have a similar stuff.
Yes.
But to experience that, when you look at, sometimes you see like the child suddenly shot dead, in school. Just he probably was 5 years old, and suddenly no more. He probably want to eat pizza or go back home, and it's gone. So life is petty, and
It is.
It is.
It is.
In a
I
way,
would say it's also
lucky to be
precious.
living. I still
I
don't know.
would say-
I constantly live this way. I don't know.
I think what happens is, again, our minds want answers.
Right.
And our minds want it to be this or this. It is either right or wrong. And that's part of duality. It is either petty or precious. It can't be both. What if it is both?
It seems like,
What
it's a
if it
paradox.
is-
I see that.
What is this? Right. And as you move and you grow, you're able to pull paradox. It's one of the
the
things.
whole word growth, to me when you say that, sorry to say, but
Mature
it
growth.
looks very intimidating.
Yeah. So
because you're
the truth-
sitting.
Yeah, the
it's not my ego, I know that, because I'm not. It's not my ego or pride. Because
The
you know.
truth is, words are very limited.
Yeah.
And
And
words are
so we
limited.
use words to express conversation, but they're extremely limiting. And so we can take one word and chew on it and fix it and move it. Take the concept rather than the word.
Just the
I'm
evolve.
trying to understand it, you know,
We're
so that
ready
we
to
can
wrap up.
see it, like at least somehow.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
we
almost
can't show the
9
entire
o'clock.
elephant.
Yeah,
But at
yeah.
least
I
get
know
a
we're
feel.
getting way off subject. So hold on.
So
This is
people
a
are getting out of the topic and
yeah.
realizing
This is
it's only 9
actually
o'clock.
an ongoing series. So we do not intend to cover every subject or accomplish every topic or discuss everything in this one talk. We have talks that we're going to do in the next year on karma specifically and on reincarnation and on all of this. But just to say in general, what we're talking about is actually holding a paradox, allowing your beliefs to expand. That's all we're asking you to do, and to hold a paradox and to bring back from all those places you've left your energy, bring them back to yourself. Bring them back to you and who you are, and be sovereign in who you are rather than sending it out. As I said in the very beginning, that $100 of energy, how do you bring it back to who you are and keep it? And one of the ways to do that is to just allow your mind to realize that you are sovereign. It is who you are. You are a God source. You are connected to source. You are source. You are already awake. Another topic we will talk about is there past and is there future? Do those things really exist? Is there this? Is there that? Next week our topic is on how do I live in this 3D body on a level of 5D or above. How do I do that paradox? How do I bring those things together and live from that space? How do I live from that space of source? And how do I walk that path? And so there are tons of topics all associated with the concept of duality versus the concept of oneness. And that is what we're talking about as we're dealing with all of this. What is duality and what is not? What is oneness and how does that work? How do I grow as a person? How do I move as an individual to be more of who I actually am? How do I embrace my soul? Okay? All right. Let's take a moment and then we'll wrap up. I did want to do one more of the same exercise we did at the very beginning, but this time you have more knowledge. And so I want you, with the knowledge that you have, to think about all the places that you spent your $100, past, present, future, other lives, karma, energy, good things, bad things, and pull those back. And again, rather than cutting the cords, pulling back in your energy and being more whole in yourself, more complete. Okay? So we'll do it very quickly, but it's an exercise I hope you'll continue to practice. Take a moment. And then we're going to do a few deep breaths. Close your eyes because I want you to, as best you can, visualize this. So, sitting in your chair, take an inhale through your nose and a slow exhale through your mouth. And an inhale and an exhale. And inhale and exhale. And now I want you just to imagine that you have all these arms, we call them tentacles, all around, and that they're reaching out. And they're reaching out to your past, to people who you believe have harmed you. You're reaching out to your future, things that you want. You're reaching out to your ex. You're reaching out to your parents. You're reaching out to the person you hope will come in your life in the future. You're reaching out to all the different things that you believe have happened to you, all the people who've wronged you, all the people who've done good things for you. And all these arms that you have are reaching out to all these other people. But through every one of those arms is energy. And your energy is being depleted, not because of them, but because you've allowed that to stay attached to them. And now, one by one, I want you to see that person, that ex, that person that harmed you, that person that said bad things, and I want you to drop that tentacle, drop that arm, just by your side. And do that to each one, dropping the arm, dropping the tentacle. Just visualize your hand reached out and dropping down. It's reached out to someone that harmed you or hurt you and dropping down. It's reached out to something you want and dropping down. And just notice all of the parts of you bringing that energy back. Dropping your tentacles, dropping your tentacles, dropping your arms. And allow them to just hang there by your side. And each of those arms now rests. All of them just resting. Resting and resting. Take another slow, deep breath. Allow yourself to feel centered. Bring all that energy back. Each of those arms and tentacles now can go back into your body, back into who you are. Bringing that energy back with it, fully present in your body today. Coming back, being complete. No longer sharing with the others until you consciously choose it. And know that each day you can consciously choose where your energy goes. But right here, right now, bring it into yourself. Feel your body. Be fully present. Feel the chair underneath you, the chair behind you, the clothes on your body. Right here, right now, all things are good. All things are present inside of you. Take a slow, deep breath. Again. And one more. And from this space of calm, of presence, of completeness within yourself, feel it in your cells, in your body. From this space of sovereign awareness, slowly open your eyes, see the room, see the people here, but know that you are complete in who you are. Your energy is back with you, fully present right here. Welcome back. I encourage you daily to do that exercise. Bring your energy back. We easily get it tucked into someone else. We get caught up in the dramas. Don't do that. If you feel that happening, go in the bathroom if you need to. Take a few slow, deep breaths and bring your energy back to yourself. Be sovereign, be present, be complete. And you'll notice huge paradigm shifts in your beliefs and in your life and how things happen. Thank you so much for the talk. We appreciate the questions and the conversation, and every Wednesday we do these, and again, we'll try to stay a little more on topic. But or not. But every Wednesday, it's an opportunity for you to expand, and that's what we're talking about. Allow yourself to sit with what we talked about tonight, and just allow it to expand in you, and see if it makes sense for you, and expand. All right, thank you.
Do you recommend the principle of one